Today on Set to Love, we're continuing our conversations with the hosts and wellness experts of Vow Village. Let's go.
You can live a life in flow where your deepest heart's desires become reality.
You are here to contribute through your essence, fall deeper in love with your life and the journey that you are on.
Take what works, ditch the rest, and always stay set to love.
Thank you for being a part of this community. We're all designed to live in flow. So let's go.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
We've got Reverend Campbell, Dr. Ryan, and Tan Moore. I just have to put Tan Moore together since they all had two words there. Welcome back to Set to Love. I'm so excited to have you guys back here and to be talking about the work that you do. And then I also want to tap in and get a little bit of advice from my daughter who's going to be getting engaged soon. So thank you so much for being here again today.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
So much.
All right. So Tan, before we jump in, I wanted to ask you about the inception of Vow Village. And for those of you who don't know, we have had the Vow Village host on our show for the past several Mondays. So I will have the links in the descriptions. You can go back and watch those. Well worth your time. Great relationship advice. And so Tan, I want to know, where did all of this come from? Where did Vow Village, what was the intent for it?
So Vow Village was born from this this desire to want to speak to couples who are making things work during this really, interesting time in our lives. But when I was talking to Leon and Ryan and some of the other people who were involved in the project, we really wanted to have everyone together in the same space, right? We wanted to have everyone there talking about things that are working, exchanging ideas, and talking about, hey, if this isn't working, how do we maybe implement some things that can help? But good old COVID showed up and it changed everything. And so we really wanted to make sure that we did not let it stop us, but we wanted to honor the restrictions, and we wanted to make sure that everyone on set could be on set and feel safe. So we modified the shooting of the project and had the couples kind of enter and exit at different times and film individually. And so, when we grow the show and things kind of get back to normal, you will hopefully see the couples all in one space, and you'll see them helping couples in trouble and speaking to couples that are successful, and, all in one space, all with the experts and everybody kind of one little couples cove.
I love that. That's such a good idea, Tan. You do have lots of these very good show ideas. This one is really a winner. How did you find these two amazing individuals, and why them? So maybe, you know what, before you answer that question, let's find out about the work that you guys do. So that maybe that'll even answer the question. So let's start with Dr. Ryan. Dr. Ryan, tell us about the work that you do and why Vow Village?
Well, I have been working in the field of mental health, psychology for a little over 10 years in various settings: correctional facilities, locked psychiatric hospitals, medical offices, and now my own private practice. And so dealing with mental health on different levels, from the most severe diagnosis like schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, to the common everyday diagnosis that we hear: anxiety, depression, especially during this COVID time, but also relationships, kind of that day-to-day troubleshooting, communication, hearing the other person out, problem solving approaches. So definitely been doing this work for a very long time and have helped a lot of people. And Vow Village just kind of made its way into this direction. And it kind of helps me because not only am I helping couples at this time with marriage and relationship issues, but me myself are going through the journey of preparing for marriage. And so it definitely came at the right time for me personally and practice-wise. So yeah, a lot of progress.
That is so awesome. I love that. And congratulations. When are you getting married?
July 4th, 2021.
Wow.
I love it. Are you getting married locally? Or are you going somewhere?
Yes. I'll be local in Somar. So yeah, we're
Oh,
very,
that's
very
so
close.
awesome. Yay.
Thank
Congratulations.
you.
That's awesome.
Congratulations.
Wow.
Reverend Leon Campbell, tell us
Yes.
about the work that you do and just why Vow Village for you. I'm curious.
Thank you. Thank you. I want to say congratulations to Dr. Ryan, because when you said 4th of July, it resonated as a celebration.
It
So
is.
congratulations to you.
Thank you.
And good morning. So I want to thank you for inviting us to do this. I want to thank Tan for this wonderful idea. But I work as a youth and family director for the Agape International Spiritual Center, among other things. But I help families, I help the youth, I help couples, and basically I serve as that place of community where we can bring each other together, we can come together. And I not only work with the youth, but I work with their parents also, so we can come full circle and begin to clear things up, open things for the families, so they could begin to get closer and to expand their relationships. But I work with them on a myriad of problems, myriad of relationship challenges, behaviors. I'm getting a lot of depression cases right now, and I'm getting a lot of grief support. Many people are making their transition. So I serve as sort of what comes to my mind as a spiritual doctor. And so I work with them, and I put together youth camps and mentoring programs and sports events. And so what I like to do is go beyond the norm, even though I treat basically problems in area of mental health. But I like to go beyond that. I teach them classes on meditation. I also teach clients on writing therapy, to be able to get underneath the situation through your own thoughts and feelings. I also do art and music therapy for them. And I use it under the umbrella of spiritual mind treatment. And my goal is to shift their beliefs and perspectives and attitudes. So as these things change, new conditions and situations will begin to develop in their lives. So these are some of the things that I do. And I want to say, as I was sitting here earlier, this is a brilliant idea, the Vow Village, because people need a sounding board. People need an ear. I don't care what your age, but they need someone to talk to. I was talking to a friend recently. He says, you're the only one I could speak to. I can't speak to a certain people about certain matters. And I feel that I'm never heard, but I need someone that I can talk to. And I believe that this show gives people a listening board. And I think that Tan and Dr. Ryan and myself do a good job of allowing people to reveal themselves. And that's 50% of it. Once you hear yourself, you begin to hear that voice within you. And you hear people say a lot, oh my God, you've helped me so much. And I've only said about 20% of the conversation, at least 10. Sometimes I say nothing, and people say, you've helped me so much. And so I think this show provides that also for them.
I love that.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much for that. You know, it's so true, Dr. Reverend Campbell, Reverend Dr. Leon Campbell.
It's okay.
Sir. No, it reminds me so much of, so I don't know how much you know, but for the last 20 years, I run a summer camp that I started for kids impacted by HIV and AIDS.
Beautiful.
And what I found was when those kids could write their stories and then share them amongst peers, it's so freeing to see that you're not alone, that there's other people in your situation, that you have your own story, but just having love and having someone to hold space for you. And it sounds like that's what this show is doing. It's like, whether you're viewing from the outside, you get to watch these people talk about their lives and their marriages and how unique and separate. You can hear some of your own story in their story, and yet you can just relate on just a human level.
Yes.
Love is love. Empathy is empathy.
Yes.
Struggle
Yes.
is struggle. Regardless of how it comes to you, it still resonates in your body in very
Yes.
similar ways. And that's how we can build empathy. And so I just love that. So thank you for that. Because it really I went, oh yeah, this it's like being at
Powerful.
summer camp, but in a
Powerful.
therapy office. So
And
Dan,
there's
go
so
ahead.
many ways. There's a myriad of ways to address our issues. I'm the individual that I don't have a formula. So when people ask me questions, I say, why don't we set up an appointment? Because I don't want to give you a 30-second sound bite. You deserve more than that. And so we sit down and we really get at it. We really get into it. So yes. So
Coming
thank
from
you
the
for that.
heart.
Yes. Yes.
That's the best place.
Yes.
Tan Moore, tell us about
Yes.
your background. I want to know, I know you're the brainchild of this show, but what do you do in your day to day? Why this? Why now?
Yeah. Okay. So I started out my undergraduate degrees in theater. And so I was a theater actress for many years, and that kind of opened up to production and playwriting and directing and acting coaching and all things creative was my life for a very long time. And then there was a shift in my life where when I came to Los Angeles, coming from the Midwest and doing a ton of theater, but coming to Los Angeles and then auditioning for TV and film and doing that kind of stuff and realizing that the demands were very different. And I was a mother and I had young children. And for me, the priority was always my family. And so I wanted to find a way to still heal people because I think art heals. I know art heals. It has a capacity in this way to kind of just heal you very organically. And so I found my way to therapy, psychology, the world of psychology. And there was a minister I used to work with and know, and he used to say that psychology is simply the study of the soul. It's just a study of the soul.
Wow.
And so I kind of resonated to that without even really understanding. And I've been doing this now since 2012, 2011. I've been in private practice for 3 years. I actually met Ryan we were doing a workshop. Yeah, we were doing a workshop because we're in private practice, but we also contract. So we were in a workshop to understand how all that works. And so I've been doing that. And I met Leon. Leon has been very instrumental in developing the spiritual lives of my children, both of my children, with the youth and family ministry at Agape. And so now in private practice, I would say that I have a very creative, integrative approach. I really look at the person in front of me and decide what it is they need. I don't believe in just going, that's got to be CBT, got to be cognitive behavioral therapy there, or that's got to be this. It really has to come from, what it is that you need. I tell the client, this is your session. And of course, I work with couples. This is your session. This is your time. What do you need? And what are the goals? And then we create the action steps together to get there. And most of the time it is creative. I use a lot of narrative therapy, like Leon said, a lot of writing, a lot of role playing, a lot of things that let those people feel like they are creating their own narrative and that they can rewrite it if it needs to be rewritten.
Wow. Tan, I love that. And you know what just comes to my mind, of course, because it sounds so much in flow, is you didn't have to search far and wide for your people, to create this. It's like the next right move for you is just 1 degree away, 1 step away. The idea came in and you said, who do I know in my life that could really make this work? And you found 2 amazing people, and you could have spent years searching far and wide for the 2 right people, but they were just right there in your life. Divine timing in all things.
Absolutely. And, honestly, not to get into this too much, but we're always attracting what it is we're a vibrational match for. Mm-hmm. And so I've known Leon and I've known Ryan, and then, we've connected in these different ways. But when it was time for this, it was just automatic and natural. It was just like, oh yeah, well, that makes sense. Well, of course. Well, here we are, Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Okay. So I'd love to get into a little piece of advice. If you guys were speaking at a reception, a wedding reception, and they handed you the mic and said, okay, you've got a minute, 2 minutes, whatever it might be, to give one piece of advice to the newlywed couple, what advice would that be? So let's start off with Dr. Ryan, the one who is July 4th celebration is coming up. What advice? It doesn't have to be advice you would give yourself. Think about maybe someone in your life who recently got married, and what would you say to them?
There'd be two things. The first thing would be to continue dating. Always date, always find that time to break away from work, from school, from clubs, organizations, sports activities, to just be in each other's presence. Often when you get into relationships, especially marriages, things can be so similar, and day to day just never changes. And so having those days where you can just go to a restaurant or go on a mini vacation and just be in each other's presence can be so powerful to just spark a new, life into your relationship and marriage. So those new couples definitely need to focus on those intimate times, away from noise, chaos, children, distractions, and just be one-to-one. And then the second thing that I would want to definitely encourage is to have that one little thing that you share special, so that even in times where things are not going as desired, you can always have something that checks in and says, I'm still here with you. So one example would be every night, my fiance and I will give each other a kiss and say, I love you. And so even in times where we're not seeing eye to eye, we're not on the same page, I will still give you that kiss and say, I love you. So you know that I'm still here. We may not agree, but I'm still here with you. So some type of check-in point.
I love that. You know what?
Wow.
Synchronistically, that's what I do with my boyfriend. I just say every night, like no matter what, like one kiss, good night, like that. I just want us to know that we are here for each other still, no matter what. And so yay, I'm doing something right. Thank you for that. Okay. Reverend Campbell, if I were to ever get married again, which I doubt will happen, but if you were speaking at my wedding or my daughter, there's something more practical.
Yeah.
She's soon to be getting engaged, I hope. What advice would you give if you were at her wedding reception?
Well, one of the things when I officiate weddings, one of the things that I share with couples is that I want you, as you walk together in life, I want you to speak to the possibilities in your mate every day. In other words, I want you to speak to the butterfly, because that potential, that power is there. But many times we spend all of our time harping on the caterpillar. We complain, oh, you're dragging around. Oh my God, get up from there. As opposed to speaking to the butterfly, the possibilities. What would it look like if you begin to start speaking to the highest and the greatest? And so one of the things I tell couples is that as you walk this life, I want you to both figuratively stand at the finish line for one another. And I want you to say within yourself, I knew you could do it. I knew you would. I just knew you would do it. If you were always standing there, as opposed to being in the present moment frustration and their problems, I want you to always stand at that highest point for them. And I want you to know, I want you to be their chief assistant and not be the person who's always complaining. I want you to be a lover. Not a big sister, not a big brother, not a father, not a mother. I want you to be that person when they come home, you can just lay your head down and just have a sigh of relief. And not feel that you're going to be judged, not feel that you're going to be, but I want you to be a lover. And that's what we need more than anything. I already have a mother, I already have a sister, I already have you have a brother, you have a father. So we don't need that. We don't need that. We need someone that we could just begin to lay our head down and just relax and just let it out. Let it flow. Let it flow. That's it.
I love that. Yes. When the other day when you said speak from the heart, and that's what it just sounds like. That's someone that you can just always speak from the heart freely, openly, and that you will hold space for one another, whatever that might look like.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
I love
It's
that.
vital. It's vital.
Thank you so much for that. All right, Tan Moore.
Okay.
Give it
Well,
to me.
I would say, I guess I would have two, like Ryan.
Okay.
The first one would be really simply, becoming one does not mean that you forget to cultivate self, because your happiness really is your responsibility. It's an inside job. Me being happy is not my husband's responsibility. You know, I
Yes.
don't want him, he can't be getting in the way of my happiness, but it is not his job to make me happy. So I would say to a person getting married, remember to do what you love, to know what you love, you know, because sometimes we don't even know what we like. We're waiting for somebody else to tell us. So, so know what you love, know what you like, be actively involved in it so that you can always remain that person that your spouse fell in love with. So I'd say that first and foremost. The second thing I would say, we are not houses. People say, let's settle down. We are not houses. We are not supposed to be settling down. We are supposed to be leveling up as people. We are always supposed to be becoming more and more of ourselves, seeking the greatest and the highest good in ourselves and in our relationships. So whatever that looks like, I love what Leon says, look for the butterfly as opposed to looking for the caterpillar or that cocoon space, but looking to level up. So those are my two pieces. Always seek to level up and always remain you, because that's who that person fell in love with.
That is so good. That's really beautiful, Tan. I love it.
Okay,
This has been such a beautiful journey, being on these podcasts with you all, and now just to like be connected to you. And like Tan says, you attract in. And when I look at like the cool people that I get to meet, I think, okay, hopefully I'm doing something right, because I'm getting to meet some amazing people. And this work that you guys are doing is super powerful. And I wish you the best. And I hope that it becomes everything that you ever want it to be, and that it can go out there and just really touch hearts and touch lives. Is there any final thoughts before we sign off today? And Tan, you can let everyone know where to find it, but any final thoughts on this process, what it's been like for you, Vow Village? We'll just kind of go around one time. So Reverend Campbell, if you want to start us off with any final thoughts.
I just want to remind everybody that there are really no coincidences in life. And that person that you're sitting in front of, that person that you made a commitment to, is truth. And when I say is truth, that means you just didn't stumble upon one another. There are over 8 billion of us on the planet. And so you found someone that could possibly, that is your teacher. And you the student, or you the teacher, they're the student, but you found someone that I want you to walk with your eyes wide open and begin to do what's in front of you. In other words, you don't want to leave anything on the table. In other words, I want to see where this can go. I want to commit myself to this. I want to be able to trust that what we discover, what we found is true and vital, and not have one foot in and one foot out, but begin to know that I found my true soulmate. In other words, I mean, it sounds cliche-ish, but again, I want you to begin to live full out in the relationship. And that means you're not holding anything back. You're being vulnerable, but you're trusting. You're trusting, because guess what? If you think that there's something on the other side of the fence, it's that same person waiting for you that you're in front of, because you're gonna attract you, just like Tan said. You're gonna attract who you are.
That's
and
right.
So let's begin to really have our eyes wide open in our relationship as we walk together, and begin to know that there have been no mistakes. And I'm not saying settle for things that are not conducive for your life. I'm not saying settle, but what I'm saying to you is that begin to be true to yourself. Okay, begin to be true to yourself, and speak your words. Speak whatever that's on your heart and when it's on your mind. but begin to walk together in a faith, trusting that the same power that put everything together placed the both of you together.
I love that.
All
Thank you
right.
so much for that. That's beautiful. Dr. Ryan.
I would say a good take home is that, as the title of this production says, Vow Village, it truly is about a village. You are not in your marriage alone. You're not in your relationship alone. There are so many different branches that a marriage and relationship has, and it's important that we reach out to that, whether it's a friend branch, whether it's a mental health or spiritual branch. There's a community for a reason. Just like we raise children in a community, we're raising these relationships in a community, and to tap into those resources, from your elders, from counsel that have been there, done that, experienced it. Those things will help get you through some of the toughest storms that you will encounter, because not all marriages are perfect.
Yes.
But all marriages can be handled well if you utilize that village. So definitely tap into.
Powerful. Thank you so much for that. That was beautiful.
Yes.
All right, and more.
Well, honestly, I just want to encourage. I think Ryan and Leon have said some amazing things, and I just kind of want to let that hang in the air and encourage everyone to check out Vow Village on YouTube and share it with people. Share it with your friends who are engaged, like Ryan is, your friends who are dating, your friends who are married, your friends whose marriages are in trouble. I mean, share it. Just show them this idea. This is more than an idea and a concept, and this is more than us just hanging out and having good conversations. These are people thriving. Relationships are thriving. So share it, share it, share it, share it. And I guess if I were to leave one nugget along the way, I would say, it's not always about you. And that sometimes doesn't sound like that's filled with compassion, but I think that's the good news, is that it's not always about us. That sometimes when we're woe is me and we're thinking of the things that aren't going well in our lives, we can look outside of ourselves and be a blessing to someone else in some way, shape, or form. And often that should be your partner. That should be your spouse. Look to be a blessing to them, because it's not always about you.
I love that. Thank you, Tan. Thank you all so much for being here today. It truly is an honor and privilege to have done these podcasts with you. I love you, Tan Moore. Thank you so much for making this happen. And, good luck everyone out there in your relationships, and reach out if you need help, if you're struggling, if you're looking for support. That's where we're built to connect. That is what humans are all about. So go ahead and do that and watch these shows, because Vow Village could truly help save your marriage, give you some great pieces of advice, and help you to be able to relate, to see that you're not alone in your journey. So thanks, everyone. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.